Thank you for watching a quick demo of a BaLogic business analyst logic software application built by Data Professional Corp. Let's get right into the presentation. BaLogic architecture, actually it's a client server application, and server connects to your end sources or target system such as Oracle, Flatfile, SQL Server, ODBC, and MySQL, and brings the metadata to your server into the repository and allow you to actually view the data and allow you to build a data mapping across multiple systems, and even allow you to even do a data profiling and quality check. Let's see overview. Actually, this is a soft business analysis application. It allows you the business to do data analysis without writing a single query. Allow you to write a business requirement throughout the SDLC. Allow business to map business requirement to user or functional requirement. Even allow you to build a source to target mapping document. It will allow you to view data model and data lineage from this single application. Some of the key benefit, actually it reduces the overall effort of integration and data browsing project by 30%. It reduces the data quality issues and risks associated with these projects. Increases the data awareness and business knowledge of a product or system. Provides 360-degree overview of entire data flow of your application. Enable business to become self-sufficient for their data access and without installing any or multiple vendor-specific software application. Increase the security of a data, metadata, and business process. All of the data objects are stored in the server. It reduces the SOX compliance requirement by providing versioning control of each object that BaLogic built. It reduces the IT effort and time to provision each user access on individual systems. All of the read, write, and run security are managed by the software itself. Let's get into the demo. Once you log in, once you open up, this is your client application. Where you see these are repositories that I can connect to, and it can have multiple repositories. And for this demo purpose, I'm going to connect to BaLogic. Every user have their own user ID and password, and all of the metadata, repository, everything is shared across the system. So once you connect to this system, it brings a lot of things actually. As I said earlier, that it allows you to view, browse, analyze, profile any system. For example, where you see for DP Dev, this is coming from Oracle, and Adventure Works is coming from local SQL Server, and BaLogic Azure is coming from a cloud, and it has some custom object, and we also have some flat file that you can look at it. The simple is this: you create the system connection and you start importing the definition. You have to do once and manage everything into this tool. And whatever I am doing here is available to all of my users or all of the end user of this application. So let's connect to this DP stage. For example, is a connection already defined. You bring up all the metadata from the server. I can select all. I can do individual table. I already brought up all those informations. Let's bring just one just to give you feels of it. How it looks. It's telling me I already have it, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it. So once you do that, once you have this, everything is available in your on your tree. So this is the object I brought it. I can look at the layout, what the layout looks like for this. And these are the columns. Let me give you this. These columns are in German because this is a source for SAP. Once we were building a SAP Mart, and we had to bring the sources, and looking at these, it tells me that hey, nobody understands this, what these languages are, like sparse and mandate, all this. But it provided me the metadata on the bottom here. It tells me that hey, this is the client, and this is a language key. So this is your actually added view. I can look at the report view from it, from the layout standpoint. Shows me the layout actually, and it's nice print. You can print, export, and share across multiple business users. And once you have in a layout, I can look at the data itself. I can do a distribution from single source. So once I have this source, what I can do simply check in. I can do checkout. There's a versioning control. So let's go ahead and check in this object. I'm going to do this check-in here. This is the initial version. So once you check in the code and is available to all of the users, now let's profile the definition that we brought into our system. Let's start auto profile. It brings this monitor here and it tells me this is what I'm running, and tells me everything runs on the server. The client is just initiate the process. All the heavy lifting is being done on the server side. Let's look at some of the result that what it brought. So I can, before we go, let me few things about the modify. I mean, when I do auto profile, let's profile all of the columns. You can select which columns you want to profile. I mean, you can even filter out for specific, or even you can write a select statement, or you can do by a batch, by anything, any select statement you can do, and give you the this want to profile the sample rows or all of rows and what the value I want to store in my warehouse. It'll become clear when I show you the report itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at the report. So when I click on the view result, it shows me this. It shows me this is the profile. It tells me, hey, I profiled 1,000 rows, and profile values, the distinct values, I kept only 200, and there was no filter. So you see here on the aggregate function, you see all of the max min values, you see null count percentage, and I can even look at these values from clicking here and give me these are the value and give me the counts, and this is the distribution. Remember that we only profile 1,000 rows, so I can go back and see, and it gives me some more information here about the percentage, how many duplicates, row count when I profile it, and give me some domain inference, what the data types and looks like, and what was the defined, what was inferred. So that is your main profiling. So when you profile, this what you get with this tool just by clicking it. There's no coding required whatsoever, but all these things can be configured and according to your need. Let's take a real life example that these are my stage, and business actually look at the final fact and dimensions. Let's profile my dimension. For example, I'm gonna see view. I mean, before we go here, if you profile multiple times, there's an option you can profile multiple times, and it gives you ability to see what the value was prior and multiple across, actually, when you run multiple times. When you filter it, it shows you there's only 2 columns. Hey, and if you profile, I profiled twice. So the data quality, you can trace your changes based on time frame, based on the new implementation you're doing for the product. It actually capture all of the profile result in a repository. It will become huge. There's a setting you can set how many you want to keep. I can even simply purge the results and make it clear, but I'm going to leave it as is. So let me look at this profile for my fact that I did. So let me look at this profile. So when I look at this profile here, and these are my fact, but I look at here for the chart of account ID, I see this -1, and -1 tells me this, hey, there's something wrong, because the keys were not there. So it's easily allowing me to view the data, without even worrying about, without even looking at anything else other than this. So anything what I'm doing here, I can do same thing on any of the relational system. For example, I can do the same thing on my SQL Server. I can look at my production data, I can right click and can view the data itself. So this is coming from SQL Server. As a business, you really do not care about where the data is residing. You care about what the data looks like, what I can do with that. So once you profile the sources, you can do the same thing for your flat files, allow you to, let's say, look at this layout. Layout allow you to metadata, define your layout of the system. You can do fixed, delimited. You can do a lot of things. Actually, you can start documenting what each fields are. So once you have done this metadata in your here, you can create these objects. There's a system requirement. For example, you can create business requirement. You can create functional requirement. I already have one. Build a common reporting system. So all of the requirements are kept here. So now we have a project. So this is the system. So let's get into the projects. Project is basically where you do a data mapping. let's look at the project itself, what the project contains. So in a project, I build a mart for SAP. Here we have a multiple layers. You can design all the layers, and this is the mapping document that I built. So let's look at the mapping document I built with this. So here it tells me the source, and I can simply, I can just versioning, I can check out the object itself. Now I can simply drag and drop the data element itself. Let's say this is street 5 is not mapped, and I figure out that, hey, it's supposed to be mapped here. So I mapped it and I wrote pass through, for example. So I build this data mapping just by dragging and dropping it here. So I save my objects here. So now I can do same thing. Now I can do release with this. Now once I'm done with this, let's remove it. Oh, there's no, there's myself is approving here. So I'll send this to approve myself, and once I send to the release, that person as a business approval is going to get an email that, hey, somebody requested approval of this mapping document or map that I did. So I just simply click and submit. So this flag tells me that, hey, it's waiting for approval. So all of the things, all of the objects you check out, it can be viewed from here. You can select from here my object, by project, by all users. So it tells me here all of the objects is checked out to me or approving, will give me the list who's approver. So I can simply look at it again from here. Well, here is it's been sent for approval. I cannot do anything. Let's take a look at another mapping. So all of the source and object, you keep dragging and building it. So what it does end of the day, once you have done with this exercise, and will allow me, let's look at the lineage. That is powerful. All of the mapping that I build, it gives me the lineage of each element that I map to. From here, I can easily identify which source mapped to where, and what transformation rule I apply to. For example, here I can right click, follow link. It tells me it's going to give me here. I go from the source to the target, and give me the value I'm looking at here. Should be yellowed out here. Okay, yeah, it goes here actually. It mapped to here, company name. So when I look at a company name as a dimension, I can follow a link and tells me what is my source actually. Same thing here I can do. A lot of time we build a system, we have to trace back to the source. You look at it here, I can simply follow the link and trace back to my original source. This is my fact, and a lot of time reports, we build a system that we need to map back to the source because there's some problem with some data quality issues, we need to trace it back. And it's not really simple or easy to trace back to the origin of the data, because mostly the reports are written on the fact, and the fact is nothing, just the keys and relationship. So here all those are just the keys, but they translate into the source, how we map it. So I can just simply follow it, and I can click on this link and tell me if there's a transformation rule here. With this model, what I can do, let's discover, I define this one, and what I can do with this, I can just simply right click and can view the data itself. So this shows me the data. I can go back to the lineage that I was looking into, and I can look at the layout, I can look at the profile itself, I can even look at the mapping. Okay, we figure out that, hey, this column, credit control area, for example, is not coming into this dimension. I can click here and view mapping here, and the mapping opens up here, and now I can simply map my new source that I'm looking into it. But looking at the lineage allows me the ability to integrate my sources, easily, and find out what the rules were associated with this. Let's look at the lineage again here. Okay, so that it builds for each. I can do, if it's become too complex, I can just simply look at this dimension. I can say, okay, show me what is the lineage for this one. It shows me lineage by mapping, it shows me by target. Let's look at, I can do same lineage by target. So all of this mapping you build, it gives you the lineage information from left to right. So let's look at the lineage again. I can do from same thing here. As you see, it's very easy to find out what my sources was. I mean how it was transformed. Here there is no logic. I'm trying to show you what the business logic looks like once you do that. Okay, I know. Okay, there's a business area dimension. Let's look at this lineage here. So, for example, this one, I look at this this information here and what the transformation is doing. There is no transformation here, but it will show. Okay, for example, here, give me this. Look up this TGSBT table where this field is mapped. Where the sparse is equal to E, insert else update. So that tells me the logic. How is this column is being updated or insert? I can trace back to my final source. So by the project you're doing it, while you're building it, it build a lineage out of it. I mean, a lot of times, a lot of project, being done by multiple vendors, the information to share, what is the impact of my sources being changed? So I can simply trace back to my origin, what my origin was for the source. Okay, so that was simply, let me create a mapping document just to give you a demo map how easily it is to create this. I can click view here and I can just simply drag my sources here, business area, oh yeah, it's fine, and my chart of accountant, I can do this, and now all the sources are here. I can just right click and say auto map. If there's a columns are mapped, it will automatically map to this object of the same name. I can write a transformation rule, pass through, I can save it, I can let's save it, I can look at the report itself. So this is the report, looks nicer, for to review with your team, give you the transformation rule, what the source object was, what was the source and target columns were, and give you the version number. So in a process you have multiple version. I mean, you can look at multiple, if you have multiple version, let's say you can go back to the multiple version. Let's say, let me check out this versioning, check in again, test. So you check out and check in. Now yes, the drop down is available, so I can just view the old data to the new one and compare. So this is my source. Okay, let me give you the one more example here. What it allow you to do very easily and is really useful. So I have this mapping as a business area dimension, like the business area. Okay, so let me look at this layout here. And somebody go ahead and deleted, for example, deleted this column. Like say, check out. It's a metadata actually. It's a designing, and somebody go ahead and delete this column and added the new one. I'll save it. We're in check-in. So once you check in, I want to show you what happened to my mapping now. Well, I can look at this. Well, this mapping is not checked out, so I have to check out first before I can do anything. So view changes. Oh, it's number. Okay. Well, I did not. Okay, it shows me in a source. Okay, you see the field 11 was added. I wanted to change it on a target. Let's see. Let's look at this one. Layout here, conversion, checkout, delete, add. So save conversion, check-in. Rename the column. Whatever you do is going to reflect in my mapping. Here I can see now. I can see. Look at the reject changes first. View changes. So you see the red columns, it tells me that has been deleted and the green was added. And if the rename is a different color comes with the column. So all of the changes you made on a source definition is going to reflect on your screen, on your data mapping document. I can go ahead and I can accept changes, I can reject. Okay, so that was so far we have built the mapping and objects and checked in the metadata. Now let's take a look at something that I want to talk about the visualizing the data. How would I visualize the data? So before you do, you have to create a model. I'm creating a model for DP Azure DP Corp, for example. I select the Azure DP Corp and I say main. It'll come give me here in drop down. So what I can do, I can simply drag here and look at the definition, and I can do same thing for each of the objects, just without doing anything. And now I can discover the relationship. How can I discover? I mean, I don't know really. Let's just do this. Okay, just let's link these two. You know, if there is a commonality, it will find it. You know, so there it finds this one, but I think it does not make sense to me. So you're looking at, so you can connect here and give you the relationship. You know, you can define the relationship here. Once you do that, it's stored in your repository. You can look at it, you can understand it. You know, you can look at many times to give you ability to define the relationship between tables or data objects. While you're building an new warehouse, you have to understand the data. You know, simply dragging it and looking at it, I can do same thing. I can look at the view, I can look at the data, I can look at the profile, I can do lineage, I can see who's leading into it. I can check out from here directly, and I can do rename. I can column, I can click on column, I can change the definition from here. I can add it or delete whatever. I can define the metadata. I can say that here this is demo field. So you can add it here. So demo field is added. All this object what you're doing it is also available in your layout. You can do it manage from here, or you can from your individual object itself. It depends. So let me show you the data model that I built for a complete picture, so I'll give you an idea. So we have a data model, allow you to build a data model, and actually let me look at this view. But that is the model for my fact and dimensions. So all of this I build it by dragging and dropping it and defining this relationship. So once you do that, I mean, I can look at the SQL, I can generate the DDL out of it, and I can, you know, look at the DDL itself. There's a multiple option you can create. So having this tool allow me to even build a data model. So all these things are captured in here and is available on my fingertip. So I'm going to click it, and I can do same thing. I mean, you're looking at the model. I mean, what this data looks like. Let's look at the data again. This one. So it shows me this data looks like this. You know, while you're looking at the model, you know, you don't need to switch back and forth with different application. This could come from variety of sources. You know, it could come from anywhere. You know, so well, this application, it says it's a business, but it allow a lot of users. I mean, this users for this application is a data architect, developers sees the mapping document, develop the code, business sees this to find out the lineage, come up with the design, come up with understanding. I can find what I'm looking for in the model. It's cool thing about this. Okay, I want to show you this. What it does, it highlights the fields. Oh, I've selected that one in the bad color. So let me select the highlight again. So I can search multiple things, and it will find it. You see, you can look at the model and can understand by simply color coding. So this is your model. You can trace back and you can look at the colors and you can find out what the things are mapped. So it's really cool what you can do with this. You know, simply dragging and dropping it, creating connection. You don't need to write a lot of, you need to model it. If you already have it, otherwise you have to build the model again. You have to, if you are starting from scratch, you can just simply, you have to create those definitions. And I want to give you one more point here about the sources and flat files. Actually, flat files allow you the ability to use one set of a data. You know, like I can look at this data itself. Once you look at the source, this is the data is coming from a flat file. It tells me this is my data. It's stored in flat file. I can do same thing. I can profile it. I can look at it, and I can view it. And I can when you have a flat file, it's hard to find stuff and make sense out of it. But many times you have to do it for a lot of reasons. So let's highlight it. You know, see what this can do. I can highlight multiple things. You see, highlight this one, and I can highlight again. So let's see, it was highlighting actually. It was a lot of rows, that's why it was taking some time, but I can do the same thing. I can do highlight again. I can do Jan, but I can do a different color. I can do color code of my changes and look at it. Now having this, I can simply compare and contrast of the data from the flat file. Data could be in a fixed file. Once you open a fixed file, let's change this as a fixed file format. Let's see what you can do with this. Okay, let's change it to the fixed format. So I changed this to the fixed format. Now I'm going to look at this data. It's going to parse the record by a fixed string. So it's really cool when you have this layout, when you have this fixed width file that you manage. Now I can just simply make changes. I can say, hey, this was 10. I can save it, and I can look at the data again. It's going to parse only 10 rows, from the flat file. See the data. Not sure if I have to check, and yes, you see that I simply make the layout changes and it's going to reflect in my source file itself. This is powerful when you have a fixed file. You have to define the layout for the fixed width. There's only 10 character. I define it. So let me go ahead and back change this to a delimited file. And there is options. A lot of times we have a file which is like non-printable character. You can define the delimiter as a non-printable character. And I needed this one time when the source file was generated through ab initio, and I was not able to open it. So I change it here, and as simple as this. Okay, when you have 10 or 20 files, you can simply import files from multiple at the same time. So you have this. All of the file I stored in my this is my source files are here. I can select here and give me all of these files in drop down, and I can simply pick and choose which file I want, or I can do all by delimiter, and I can say this is the first row container file name. If you have 10 or 20 files, you're going to import the definitions from those files, and since I already have it, rename. Okay, it's saying it's checked out, so I have to say test. Okay, alright, so this one is telling me it's already been checked out, it already exists, so I'm going to replace it. Alright, replace all. Okay, so all these objects are now, I imported the definitions again. It's become available to me here. All of the definitions are here, and that is actually allowing me to even define the natural key on the source system. Alright, so I think we are done, but there are a lot of more information in the tool itself. It can help, so feel free to reach out to me if you have any question regarding the tool itself or a live demo. You can even use the free trial version on your organization and see how can help you. Thank you for watching this video again. My name is Rehan Siddiqui. I'm a principal consultant at Data Professionals Corp. You can email directly to me at rsiddiqui@dataprofessionals.net. Thank you again.